check this out. Excuse you. Hey everyone, it's Jessie from Condo to Cottage. So welcome to this week's garden tour, and I am going to show you some other things I did with the chickens this week and around the yard. Our mums are growing. I wanted to show you those. So you know, this is the second week of September, so at this point in time the garden is in full transition to the fall garden, which does make me a little bit sad. I think a lot of gardeners feel this kind of like you work up all year for the spring garden, for the summer garden and the summer harvest, and now it's winding down. I do still have some tomatoes and things that will ripen, but the biggest excitement is really the fall crops that are growing. So I wanted to also tell you guys that I did start an Instagram specifically for gardening and chicken stuff. The Instagram is Condo to Cottage, so check me out on Instagram. And there are also so many other great people on Instagram that I, would recommend if you like to follow things like that, if you're an Instagram user. So Baker Creek Seeds has a great Instagram where they showcase their heirloom crops that they have, which is where I get most of my seeds. And I just love reading the little bios on these different plants, as well as some of my favorite channels like Am I Gardener and Roots and Refuge Farm. So anyway, let's take a look here what we got going on. Hey, there she is, the crazy corner. It is the jungle. The worst part about this time of year is the spider webs in the garden. You walk through and you just get spider webs in the face. So yes, hard to tell how big this thing is, but it's insane as always. Lots of pollinator action though. I feel like I should put a picture to show you a size comparison here. I mean, the chair does help, but this thing is a jungle. So this is what happens when you let tomatoes grow on their own. Hiding behind the millions of tomatoes, we have, wow, even the strawberries are being taken over. Oh my goodness, get out of here. Strawberries. We have some strawberries that are growing. This is a great time of year for strawberries, although somebody's getting them. So that's not very fortunate. Wonder who that is. Squirrel, chipmunk, could be anything. So it's a good time of year for strawberries because now it's cooler at night and they like that a lot. Oh, that's that perfect little one. So we've got all of this going on. Lots of tomatoes in here that I have to get to. And I do still have some bean plants that are producing on this side. They look very sickly and they are not going to say that they're very healthy, but still getting beans on there, so that's cool. Now in this patch, I had taken out those squash and I planted some beets and some some carrots. So what I did with the beets is, I can't remember exactly what it's called, but basically the concept is you grow them in batches, or you plant the seeds, you sow them in batches of 2 or 3. So I'm going to probably thin some of these out, but that they actually will grow well like that. So you can see I have like a little patch there, one back there, one there, one there. This guy only had one. Here's another patch. And then the carrots I will have to thin out as well. Clearly we had some rain at some point after I planted these, because you can see they spaced themselves out pretty well. Don't know what that little plant is. I also have a random tomato seedling that's coming up that won't do anything for us, but that's okay. So very excited about the beets and carrots that are coming up. Those are good crops for the fall garden. Have a tomato plant here, and then these are my purple potted purple potted pole beans, and they have some flowers coming out on them, so that's great. Some more beans, just a few. There's not going to be a lot on there. Look at this ground cherry. This thing is insane as well. So these ground cherries are really interesting. I showed them the last time, but they almost taste, I decided they taste like musky, like almost like a melon, like cantaloupe, a little bit. It's very interesting flavor. Oh man, Just stepped into a spider web. I don't know if you can see it, but it's pretty big. Ugh, worst part of the garden this time of year. This ground cherry here has the eggplant in the middle, and then an eggplant here. So we do have some blossoms. Let's see if I see any buds, any eggplant buds. None that I see. The whole rest of this green patch is the ground cherry. So then, nothing going on in these pots. I'm considering doing some extra lettuce so that I have more, because that's so easy to grow. Here we have a few broccoli, or a few rutabagas actually, I think. These are rutabagas. And then some cauliflower. But this whole patch, I don't know if it just doesn't get enough sunlight or what, but it just didn't really, the seeds didn't take nearly as well in this patch as in the other patches. So then we have tomatoes here. I mean, still getting good growth on this. Look at this thing. Got some flowers still coming out. And this is actually the unseasonably warm. So it's supposed to get up to 86 degrees Fahrenheit again tomorrow. So tomatoes are kind of still kicking. And then I have my kale, which I have to tell you guys this story. So I feel like maybe you would understand this, maybe not. Maybe my gardening people would. So the other day I was out here and I was watering the seedlings, and I noticed in my kale patch a white moth was flying around, which I just saw it when I came out here before, so you might see it fluttering behind me. And a white moth, that kind of moth is the kind that lays the eggs of the cabbage worms or cabbage loopers. I can't remember what they're called. That particular one that like destroyed my kale. So I'm out here with my watering can. I'm like, oh no. So I get my watering can and I'm like trying to shoo this moth away, and it gets stuck in right by the kale in a big spider web. And I'm like, serves you right. Like, I'm like, good, it's done. I walk away. 5 minutes later, my husband and I, it was Labor Day, we get in the car and we're headed out to my sister's and for, you know, a little picnic. And I look over and this white moth is still in the spider web and it's like fluttering, trying to escape. And the bleeding heart in me was like, oh no, I feel so bad for that moth. So I came over and I released it. And the humane thing to do would have been to release it and kill it so that it didn't come back and get my kale. But I didn't do that. I let it go. So sometimes I hate that aspect of myself. I will probably regret it when my kale is destroyed. So just remind me of that when I'm complaining in a few months or weeks about my kale being destroyed. But anyway, it's looking good right now, so that's good. So yeah, here is my kale, looking pretty good. It's coming back. I mean, I literally brought these guys down to nothing. They didn't have any green on them. So that is pretty impressive, the resiliency of kale. There's also some random green beans in here that had died and are coming back a bit. So those are right in here. I don't see them climbing anything. They're just kind of there. We still have some green fruit on here and some fruit. Look at this. This guy's like half green, half orange. Can't make up his mind. The side that's in the sun is orange and it's actually starting to split. So I might pull him and put him on the counter or on the windowsill in the sun to ripen him up a bit. Hey chickies. They're just hanging out. So here we have this other tomato patch, which has really dwindled down. Got some nice ripe tomatoes though. Those are great. We've still been having our tomato sandwiches in the morning. Actually, it's not really a sandwich. We make like tomato toast. I always come out here without my bucket, and I don't know why I do that because I did pull the squash from here completely the other day. There were so many squash bugs. It was taking up this entire patch. So what I decided I'm going to do here is I'm going to order onion slips because this part of the garden is kind of hard for me to get to anyway. So I'm going to, let me move this, get some onion and garlic slips to just plant back there. It's not going to be a lot, but it's going to be enough that because you harvest them really just once in the summer, I'm not going to have to do too much with them. I'm going to use this back part of the trellis to do that. So, sorry for the dog. Oh, look what's happening. There is a squirrel up on the wire, and Lulu is not happy about it. It's okay, Lou. Oh, you're so aggressive. Goodness. Oh my gosh. Such a good guard dog. All right, so this will be onions and garlics. I still have these zinnias. I mean, they're like super tall, beautiful. They actually look healthier to me than before. And then I have some random tomato seedlings, and then this whole area is was planted with loose leaf, different mixes of lettuce. So I do have some seedlings coming up, but some of them look like tomato seedlings. So like this guy, see how it has that purple fuzzy stem? This guy, all of those all look like tomato seeds to me. So I don't know how much lettuce I actually have here. I think I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not a lot. Maybe 6. Not sure what this guy is. But the tomatoes are seriously everywhere. Everywhere. It's insane. So, we'll see what happens there. Then this tomato patch, doing okay. That's, I mean, I say that, but it's kind of really pathetic looking. But it still has a lot of green fruit on it. So, still giving me blossoms too. Pretty crazy. And then this tomato patch, look at this striped little baby fruit. Cute. This tomato patch is doing okay as well. These are the blue creamberry, and they're so yummy. And it's all the way up the trellis. So I think they are changing their flavor a little bit, but they're still good. I had to move my coleus in here because the chickens totally destroyed it. That's okay. I actually keep this guy inside in the winter and then just bring him out in the summer. It was huge, and I kind of died back a little bit. So then, tomatoes, marigold. Look at this marigold. It's just massive. Barely get around it. The purple basil's dying off. I mean, it's really just a bunch of flower stems left. But they still love it, the pollinators, so that's okay. And then I did pick an eggplant yesterday, I think. I have one over there. It's kind of looking a little sickly. And then one here, which has got a few more days, and I'll pick him. And then my peppers, oh my goodness, knock on wood, I think they're doing okay. I have not seen the chickens in here, but as soon as I say that, they're going to hear me and be like, oh yeah, Mom? But I do have some green peppers that are whole left that they did not get to. So fingers crossed we actually keep these green peppers. I also have a Mira pepper, which I'm excited about because none of them, I didn't get to try any of them really. And then my jalapenos are turning red. So that's super exciting. Look at this one. I think that one is ready to pick. If I can. Still has a little green, but it has this little mark, so I want to pick it now before it gets destroyed. So I'm going to try that. I kind of want to see what it tastes like right now. Last time I tried one of these, it was green, and it wasn't very good, so let's give it a shot. I might not like it. Very thick. Oh man, that is a good pepper. It's very sweet and has a pretty thick wall. I don't know if that's zooming in properly, but it's a pretty thick wall of fruit. So that's really delicious. I'm going to turn the camera off and finish this pepper. All right, that was delicious. So still have plenty of peppers in here. I'm excited about those. So these are really good for, like, you could do for stuffing them. Now, some people would suggest like stuffed with cream cheese. We're vegan, so we don't eat that, but I would stuff them with like hummus, something like that. So good. So this tomato plant, wow, lots of ripe fruit there. Might have just broken part of this. But it's okay. It's I am going to lean this guy up on the strawberries, even though I just yelled at that other plant for doing that. But guess you can't really yell at a plant. Anyway, so this is just another random, this one randomly seeded itself. So like I didn't plant this guy, and it's weird because I didn't grow this variety last year. So it somehow seeded itself from a seed from this year, but grew this big. So it seeded really early. And that's pretty much it in this part. Look at this baby. I love bees. Here's another one. Hello. You got pollen all over you, dude. Wow. They're so cool. Oh, Ted, are you crying? All right. Don't let me forget those. This is what I do. Come on, pups. Let's go show everybody the other side of the garden. Come on. So yeah, look at these zinnias. Oh, there's that white moth. See? I knew he was going to be here. He's looking for my kale. Look at these zinnias, though. They are just, I just love this is such a nerd moment, but I love the geometry of them. They're so cool. Like, look at that. Huh, so cool. And then the colors of this one, this is that Queen Lime zinnia, gorgeous. So over here, I left the potatoes in because I did feel around a little bit and I wasn't happy with the size of them. So figured we're not in any threat of losing them at this point. Oh, so this is that lamb's quarter. Remember in the beginning of this season, I had all these rogue wild spinach. This is what it looks like when it grows up. So I just pulled this but I kind of want to try it. But I kind of don't. So I'm just going to throw it. We do have some really ripe tomatoes. I got to get out here with my basket. These are just rogue cherry tomatoes that grew, and they're very sweet and juicy. I had to take a break because my camera got too hot. And while I opened the door, all my friends came running. Alright, I just got this nice haul. It's cherry tomatoes, some ground cherries, random green bean. And then what I'm super excited about, check out these mums. Oh my goodness, they're huge. They're huge. They have like, they're so heavy that they actually fall over, but they're starting to blossom. So super exciting. Mums finally growing. Very thrilled about that. Just picked some of those really mature green beans that were underneath the tomatoes, and I was able to harvest some mature seeds. So that's exciting. I will save those for next spring. So basically with the green beans, if you leave them on long enough, they get almost like hollow in the pod, and it's like the flesh of the green bean it goes towards the seed, I guess. So it loses that inner flesh, and what you're left with is almost like a hollow green bean with a bean in the middle. These are Blue Lake bush beans. So that is the color of the Blue Lake bush bean. So that's pretty exciting. I'll take it. So another few things we did this week was Labor Day. So we had some time off. We weeded the large majority of the chicken yard, which was a huge accomplishment. And then I took up, so every like spring and fall, if you have chickens and you have a run, you should dig up as much of the chicken manure as you can and then add it to a compost pile. We have not been very good at this, like putting it into a designated compost pile. So we set one up this weekend, and I dug, I'd want to say at least 2 big like black garbage cans full. So I will show you what that looks like. I mean, not sure you want to see the actual product. Ooh, Beardy scared me. Let's take a look. So this cottage garden over here looks a lot better. I have a big burn pile I have to do. We also got yesterday a split unit put in. So that's going to, we have to put some chicken wire around it to protect from the chickens, because anything that's a flat surface becomes a chicken perch. But look at this beautiful sedum. I just love it. It's one of my favorites. It's actually one of my favorites in the spring because it looks so cool when it's coming back. It's a perennial. I also harvested my lemon balm, a lot of it. So I have some lemon balm that I harvested and dried. There's still a bunch here because it helps keep flies away. So back here I used like a rake and a shovel and took up as much of the run as I could and just like leveled it out and filled up this huge bin. And then the goal is this bin, so it's very full, chicken waste. It has on the bottom, hi Fluss, hi girl, what's up? It has this like thing you lift up, which I can't get right now, you need 2 hands, but that is going to be fresh compost for the garden in the spring. Hey girls, how we doing? Should we check on Jim? Should we check on Jimbo? You've got food in here. You're following me around like you need food. Let's see. You got food, Fliss. There's Jimmy. All right, she's still brooding. What's up, Raptor? So somebody asked me recently, I can't remember, I think it might have been my father-in-law, hi Dave, why the raptors are named the raptors and not specific names like the rest of the chickens. And it's because they all look identical. Well, it's kind of not true. One of them, I can tell from the other 2. There's 3 raptors. There were originally 4, but I'm pretty sure Jimmy killed one. Ooh, it's morbid. But there are 3 raptors now. And the one looks different because she's got a very shallow comb. But the other 2 are pretty much identical. So I just never got to naming them and having it stick. I could never tell. So they just became collectively known as the raptors, who all of them are following me now. It's like I always have a posse. It's all the time. See these 2? These are the 2 raptors. This one? Yes. And over there, back there, oh, by the water, or by that green planter. And they're identical. The 3rd raptor is over here. And see, she doesn't have as much of a comb. She's a lot paler in general. Like her comb and like facial features are paler. And that's just how she looks. I actually thought she was sick for a while, and she might still be, but she actually acts like more normal now. Because usually when they have a pale comb like that, it's not a very good sign, but she's been fine. So the raptors just don't get their own names. The COVIDs currently don't have their names either. Got to come up with them. I did have one named Rainbow. I'll show you. But then I realized that 2 of them look identical. So this one I had named Rainbow because she's iridescent. But then, so is her sister. So, let's see if you can see. There you go. So I can't really tell which one is which. Oh my gosh, they all just went running. Hi, honey. Oh, you want to be in the video? I am. Oh my god. Anyway, I'm just wrapping up. So that is the garden, the state of the garden today. So today is September 8th-ish, 9th-ish. And that's how it's going here. So we're transitioning to fall. Beets and carrots and lettuce have been planted. Some cauliflowers coming up. Rutabagas are coming up. They might not make it before we get a frost. With this weather, who the heck knows what's going on. I mean, we've got storms brewing, like half the West Coast is on fire. So if you are affected by that, you are in our thoughts and prayers. So, anywho, Check out the Instagram. It's just Condo to Cottage. If you have not liked or subscribed to the channel here, hit the little bell icon, hit the subscribe button. Makes my day. All right, you guys, have a wonderful day, and I'll see you soon.